People argue about where a life begins. Some say it begins with a cry, others with a name, others with a memory. In the town of Larkspur Bend, the old ones said a life begins the first time you choose to keep going. No one remembered when the road appeared. It slipped into the valley the way fog does, quietly, without asking permission. It was not wide, not grand. It did not announce itself with milestones or signs. It simply kept going, bending around hills, threading through orchards, skimming the river's edge like it wanted to learn the water's secrets. Children walked it to school. Farmers crossed it with carts. Lovers traced it with their fingers on maps, planning futures they weren't sure would hold. And yet, if you walked long enough, the road changed you. This story is about Mara, though she would be the first to tell you it isn't only about her. It's about everyone who walked that road, even the ones who turned back, even the ones who swore they never stepped on it at all. She was born on a morning when the bells forgot their timing. They rang too early, then too late, as if the metal itself was unsure whether it was welcoming or warning the day. Her mother laughed through the pain and said she'll be early and late her whole life. Mara grew up listening. She listened to floorboards, to wind, to the pause people took before they told the truth. She learned that silence had weight, that it could lean on you until you noticed it. When she was 7, she asked her grandfather why the road didn't end. "It does," he said, sharpening a knife, "just not where you expect." "Where does it end then?" He smiled without looking up. "After the last step you're brave enough to take." That answer stayed with her like a pebble in a shoe. Larkspur Bend was the kind of town that remembered you even when you wanted to be forgotten. It knew your grandmother's laugh, your uncle's mistakes, the nickname you hated in school. The bakery smelled like cinnamon and burnt sugar. The river smelled like green things and time. Every evening, people gathered near the bend where the road kissed the river. They didn't say it was tradition, because calling something a tradition makes it feel finished. They just came. Stories were traded there. A woman once told how she left the town with nothing but a coat and came back with 3 languages in her mouth and a scar shaped like a crescent moon. A man confessed he stayed his whole life and still traveled further than anyone else he knew. Mara listened. She noticed how stories never truly ended. They slowed down, looped back, handed themselves to someone else. Mara left at 16. Not dramatically, no slams doors, no shouted goodbyes. She packed a bag that was too light and stepped onto the road at dawn. The air tasted like rain that hadn't happened yet. Her mother hugged her the way you hug someone who is both leaving and staying. Her grandfather pressed a coin in her palm. "For luck," she asked. "For weight, so you remember you're real." The road welcomed her with the softest resistance, like water around ankles. The first place she reached was a city that never finished building itself. Scaffolding climbed buildings like vines. People spoke fast, as if afraid their words would miss the moment. Mara worked in a cafe where the tables wobbled and the tips were better if you remembered names. She learned that loneliness could exist in crowds, that ambition could be a kind of hunger that never quite felt full. At night, she walked. The road ran through the city, narrower there, pretending to be an alley. She followed it past closed shops and open windows where lives leaked out in laughter and arguments. Sometimes the road felt warm, sometimes it felt tired. She asked it questions. It never answered. She loved a person named Elias for a season that smelled of oranges. He had hands that explained things well and a habit of leaving books unfinished. They planned a future like people plan a picnic, hopeful, aware of weather. When it ended kindly, which somehow hurt more. Mara walked the road until dawn. She learned that heartbreak doesn't break you cleanly, it frays you. It leaves threads trailing behind that catch on memories. She kept walking. Years later, the road curved home. Mara didn't recognize the moment she decided to return. Decisions like that rarely announce themselves. They grow quietly, like bones. Larkspur Bend had changed, or maybe she had. The bakery had a new owner. The river had eaten a little more of its bank. Her mother's hair had learned the language of gray. Her grandfather's chair sat empty, holding the shape of him. The road waited. Mara stayed. She took over a small shop near the bend, selling maps and notebooks and nothing you strictly needed. People came anyway. They always do. She listened to travelers and neighbors, to regrets and hopes, and jokes told too many times. She noticed how children asked the same questions she once did. "Does the road end?" they asked. "It does," she said, smiling, "just not where you expect." Loss came the way it always does, uninvited, insistent. A friend didn't wake up one morning. A storm took a house the river had been eyeing for years. Mara learned that grief is not a wall you climb over, but a landscape you learn to walk. She walked the road with grief beside her, heavy and familiar. It did not leave. It changed. Life settled into what people call the middle, as if it were a place you pass through quickly. But the middle is wide. It has weather. It has days that feel small and days that crack you open. Mara fell in love again, slower this time, with someone who understood silence. They did not promise forever. They promised honesty. They walked the road together, sometimes side by side, sometimes apart. Mara grew older. The children she once answered grew into people who asked different questions. Did you choose the right life, one asked? Mara thought of the road, of all the versions of herself who had walked it differently. I chose a life, then I kept choosing. The road seemed to hum, pleased or amused. There are gifts that arrive loudly, celebrations, victories, applause. And there are quiet gifts. A morning when your body feels light, an evening when the river sounds like forgiveness, a stranger who tells you a story you needed without knowing why. Mara learned to notice these. She put them in her notebooks between maps that were never finished. One day, walking felt different. Not painful, just deliberate. The road narrowed, then widened, then narrowed again. It passed through places that felt familiar, even when she knew she had never been there. She thought of her grandfather. After the last step you're brave enough to take. She smiled. Here is the truth people rarely say out loud. The road does not end because lives do not end the way stories do. They are handed off. Mara sat by the bend one evening and listened as a child told a story, hers mixed with someone else's, twisted into something new. The child's eyes were bright. The road glowed with late light. Mara felt the weight of the coin in her pocket, smooth from years of touch. She stood. She took a step, and somewhere, someone else did too. The road kept walking. If you listen closely, even now, you can hear it. Not footsteps, choices. And so it goes, day after day, life after life. The road stretches beyond sight, carrying stories, sorrows, loves, and laughter. Some steps falter, some run, some are barely noticed, yet every step matters. It bends and curves over hills, through forests, across rivers, carrying everyone who dares to walk it. And though time changes everything, the road endures, eternal, endless, a living memory that whispers to every soul willing to take the next step. And in that taking, we all live on.